Hello and welcome. I'm Eric Miskell and welcome to this edition of EMSNOW Up Close. Today we have the pleasure of meeting with Joe Pultinevicius. He's the VP of Business Development with the IDENTCO Automation Group. And we've invited Joe on to discuss kind of the benefits of auto applying labels. So Joe, welcome. My first time to actually interview you and to learn about your technology. So why don't you begin by providing an introduction to yourself and to the IDENTCO Automation Group.
Sure, Eric, thank you. My name is Joseph Pultinevicius. I'm the Vice President of IDENTCO, the Automation Group. You can call me Pult, makes it a little bit easier to say my last name, P-U-L-T. IDENTCO, we're a premier manufacturer of labels. We're headquartered in Ingleside, Illinois. We've been in the manufacturing, service, and support for over 35 years now, and we have our headquarters is again in Ingleside, Illinois, but we have manufacturing in Germany and Mexico as well. And me personally, I've been in the EMS business for over 20 years. I was a distributor for Yamaha for their pick and place and screen printer technology. My company, we built custom automation for SMT applications. And we also designed and built flawless labeling cells, labeling machines for inline labeling and kitting area labeling as well.
Interesting. Okay. And is there any new product offering that we're going to feature today that we should mention at the beginning, or how do you want to do that?
Yeah, today I'd like to talk about IDENTCO's label presenter, but I just want to also talk about, tell you, IDENTCO, we offer a total solution for all your labeling requirements. Our offerings consist of labels, printers, ribbons, software, and feeders. We also provide technical support to ensure that your application is supported by a capable identification product solution, regardless of the market. We work a lot with automotive, power equipment, and electronics. And we're proud to offer the total label solution to your viewers.
Yeah. Hey, and I remember when I saw you at Apex and I met you, you were handing out kind of the boxes, right? With, I didn't take one because I didn't think it applied, but that was, explain what that was too, please.
So there, at the show at Apex in San Diego, we had the box with some samples for our customers. And one of the things that IDENTCO really does, we're really proud of the material science that we put together as a team with our in-house engineers, and also we collaborate and test with Kaizen and Zestron. And so we marry, basically, we take this box and we'll send out, if you're using a certain label from another company, we'll marry it, we'll test it, we'll make sure the ribbon and the label can go through whatever stringent process you have, and we present the solution for that.
Okay. Excellent. Like I said, I didn't take one because I didn't have anything to apply it to, but I found that interesting when I was there and it was memorable. So
no, we're really happy. It's part of our process of when we're working with a customer. We try to find out what they're currently doing. If it's a brand new process, we give them a variety, maybe 3 or 4 samples to put onto a PCB and run through their oven, their chemical washes, what have you, whatever the customer needs are, and we help them qualify it before we even sell them, one item.
Yeah, that's excellent. So let's big picture. Why is labeling important?
Well, first and foremost, electronic manufacturers are ever more selective in purchasing equipment that will add value to their business and provide them with a much needed edge in the highly competitive industry, right? Something that separates them from the next guy. So labeling is very important because the manufacturers, be it if you're a contract manufacturer or an OEM, you want to know when the board was built, what parts are on the board, what lot, and you want to have a process in place to trace for the life cycle of that product. So if something breaks, something goes down, there's an issue, you want to be able to come back and circle back and say, oh, we found it, this reel of parts that were put on, 4,000 boards came, were the defect from this component that was defective. So full level traceability.
Okay. And what are the typical, I think about it, putting it just on a printed circuit board. Is that the typical application though for the label?
For the most part, it is PCB labeling, but we also have customers that, they want to put, well, the process is for the majority of customers at some point in the SMT process, be it in the kitting area or in line, it gives them an ability to label with serial numbers, date code, lot numbers, could be a MAC address, but we also are able to offer the ILP feeders that can automate putting down solder masks or even applying a unique part that's presented in tape and reel.
Interesting. Okay. And it's interesting you pointed the inline, the ILP there, but a lot of this used to be done just with hand applying, right? And that's obviously got some pain points associated with it. What might those be? Well,
I can tell you, I've been in hundreds of factories, right, where you see, the labor, number one, the labor of when the factory manager is walking around or the engineering manager is walking around with you, and they even ask the question, how many people are putting labels down right now? And they go, well, right now we have 6 people over there hurrying to get all these boards labeled, and it's kind of a random number, right? See what labor, how much labor is being used, but the process is really the pain points of labeling is smearing, smudging, skewed, label in the wrong place. Sometimes it's a wrong orientation on the board, or even contamination, right?
My God, yeah, no, exactly. Which leads us to, you automate that process, obviously. So talk about, what does it mean exactly to automate the label process?
Well, it means what we really just talked about, the cost and labor savings, being in the right place, the right orientation, no smearing, no smudging, no contamination. And in some cases, the last piece of that PCB or product that's designed is a barcode, a label for traceability. And sometimes there's just not room. There's not real estate on the board. So with our ILP system, we have the capability of placing the label even on top of a component if there's a real estate issue on the board.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was going to ask kind of who determines that exactly, the placement and, how that works. So that's interesting that you could put it actually on a component.
Correct.
And how long, by the way, physically, I remember, when I worked in a prototype shop, we had those and we hand applied them. Of course, it was different business, but size-wise now, as everything's getting smaller, you must be challenged by that as well.
Absolutely, but the common size that we see in the marketplace is really down to about a 1/4 by 1/4 2D label with 2D data matrix. Okay. They can put a lot of data in that small area.
Okay, and talk about I'm assuming not all labels are similar. They, in size, appearance, and content. So, what are how does that differentiate, or what are the variations, I guess is the term?
Well, for us, we have a feeder that can handle we have multiple sizes of feeders that can handle multiple label sizes. So we're pretty flexible on what we can handle. Big labels, small labels. The majority out in the marketplace, we're able to do that.
Right. And so, and the size and the location of the label is determined post design, obviously, of the board. Once it's done with what's left over, kind of, then you look at it.
Correct.
Okay, good. So let's talk about this presenter now. So how can IDENTCO design in a presenter to a current existing line?
I'm glad you asked. Well, for our purposes, we have a solution that goes on the pick and place system. It's a feeder that uses a pre-printed label that we can print and provide to the customer, or we can provide a solution with the printer, the software, a rewinder, so the customer can print and manage their own labels in-house, right? And with the feeder that we have, the interfaces are different. So we're able to work with just about any pick and place manufacturer: Yamaha, Fuji, Europlace, or Juki, Hanwha, Panasonic, many others, to interface with those machines. And what's important, to be able to label as a cell, right, offline or inline, a special machine to be able to put those labels down, it's a six-figure proposition. It's expensive. It takes real estate on that SMT line. With the feeder, we're low cost, we're easy to implement. It's really a simple plug and play solution for the customers. And the process of how it works is like this. The presenter presents the labels, okay? The pick and place nozzle picks up the label with a nozzle that matches the size of the labels, just like you would with a component. Then the pick and place machine moves the label XY wherever it needs to go on the PCB. It places it. Then the camera or the vision system can read the label, register the label, log that data into a data file on the machine or your network. And it doesn't matter if you use Oracle, SAP, Data Sweep, any type of ERP, MRP system, even if it's homegrown, you can then manage and store that data and transact that into your ERP, MRP system.
Okay. Now, and for an EMS company who's doing this, or a manufacturer who's going to introduce this for the first time, they might be a little nervous, right? Do you guys come on site and or do that virtually, or is it that simple that you just plug it in?
Eric, we've had a number of customers that had done no labeling. A few of them have been OEM customers that wanted to start traceability on their product level. So we help them establish the material science, the size of the label, right? The data, we help them with the data layout, the content, what they want to put on the label. And then we help them pick the nozzle size if they don't have experience with that. Or we work with the pick and place manufacturers who they know who we are, and they can say, oh, it's this is the nozzle size that goes, right, to pick up that label. And we do a turnkey for them. And a lot of those customers started with us providing the labels, and then they've moved to also printing their own labels as well, getting their own system in place, printer, software, etc.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's good to hear, because I mean, clearly you want to have that initial trial or whatever you call it kind of go very smoothly for them, right? So
yeah, one of the things we do, we want to make sure our customers are in it for the long haul with us. Our core business is manufacturing labels, good material, and one of the things that makes us unique is we're a one-stop shop. So in using labels for automation, I don't care if it's a specialty machine that is a print and apply system or an ILP feeder, you want to make sure that you have a good die cut. So the manufacturers aren't extending the life, and it's a nice kiss cut that the label is able to release from the liner and pick up and be picked up and placed onto whatever you're placing it onto.
Yeah.
So,
okay. And this is just my innate curiosity then. And then the label, once it goes through the oven, obviously you have to make sure that the material is such that it sustains that harsh environment as well.
Correct. Right? We do that. That's part of the material science with evaluating, knowing the process of what they want to go through. And again, we work with Kaizen, Zestron for the chemical process, and we know what temperatures and adhesives will work with what application.
Okay.
We have at all of our manufacturing locations, Mexico, Germany, US. We have application engineers that can help with any issues that may arise.
Okay.
But most importantly, we address any concern before we start the process.
Right, as it should be. And so you lead to the next question, which is people who are interested in this, how do they get a presenter? You've said that you have resources out there in the field and what have you. Somebody's watching this is interested in getting a presenter. What should they do, Joe?
Reach out to us at our sales at IDENTCO.com. I think you're going to tag me via LinkedIn as well. I'd be happy to. I check my LinkedIn all the time, so be happy to respond to you via LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And we can provide a quote. We could schedule a virtual demo, a personal meeting to discuss your application and figure out the best solution for what you're trying to do, your customer's trying to do. And in general, we have the feeders in stock. And if we do not have your feeder type for the machine, it's usually no more than 2 weeks is lead time.
Okay. And, personal meetings are coming back in style again, right? Where the restrictions are being lifted. And, I just assume that with a business like yours, being in the facility, seeing the actual flow of it and understanding how, you're being asked to play with the rest of the machine, so to speak, and all the other components adds great value. And that must be nice to have that back again for your field people.
It is nice, but I can tell you, even with COVID, it's really the solution is plug and play for our customers. It's always nice. Don't get me wrong. I love to be out in the field and shaking hands and being in front of the customer, but majority of the time, quick phone call, quick overview of the type of machine the customer has, the type of feeder banks, electric or older electric pneumatic feeders, just a few questions, and really we can start the process.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Well, Joe, this has been very interesting. I've learned more today, and I always like these types of interviews, right? When it's something that I don't hear about that often. So I'm glad to get the time with you. Hopefully, we get some more updates as the year progresses here, and business is opening up all over the place. So I wish you continued success. For those watching this, as Joe had indicated, the best way to contact them is that sales@identco.com. But finding him, just make sure you get the spelling right there for Joe. I think, although your profile does show the PULT on there as well, so that is unique. So they should be able to identify you quickly. And I always encourage people to reach out that way as well if there's an interest. So thank you very much for your time today, sir, and I wish you a successful year ahead.
Eric, thank you so much for the opportunity. We appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.